Welcome back to the MLG GameOn Invitational for the finals of Major vs. Scarlett.
The grand finals, and it seems like the people that were getting some stream issues. For you, if you're watching on MLG.gg, try switching over to MajorLeagueGaming.com, and that might fix it.
What? MLG.gg?
GameOn.gg, yeah. Go to MajorLeagueGaming.com if you're having stream issues, and that might make it better for you. If you're not, of course, do as you please.
Definitely.
Some people were asking for Rob from Productions Twitter.
Wow.
His Twitter is
At Steven?
at Kavik TV.
Oh.
That's Kavik. So, yeah, if you want to give him a follow, tell him bitch at him a little bit.
Also, before we jump into this next game, we have a little bit of announcement to make.
Yeah, stay tuned next week to learn a little bit more about the next installment of the MLG Invitational. And that's going to be brought to you by Ender's Game on Blu-ray. It's going to be another tournament.
Wow.
And for more information, stay tuned. And MLG will probably be announcing a little bit more about that soon.
What a tournament.
What a tournament that's going to be.
$500,000 prize pool, they said?
I don't think so. We are jumping right into the next game now. Major is down 0-2 against the Queen of Blades.
Wow.
Scarlett. Wow. What a series so far.
Every game, a good game.
Well-fought games, both
Definitely.
of them. So,
no
not one-sided.
Even
yeah.
if this ends as a 4-0, I mean, every game so far has been very close.
Very much so, yeah.
Bottom left, we have Acer Esports' Scarlett.
Yeah, playing as the Pink Surg.
And in the top right, we have the Team Rocket
Rockets.
representative, Major.
Juanito. Every day he's come with a different, what do you call those?
Decal.
Decal? No, decals are the ones on the floor, right? Are these decals as well?
Spinning decal.
Spinning 3D decal. The first time around it was brown Pokemon that I was very fond of.
Miltank?
It was
neutral.
Miltank the first time.
Then we had Grimer.
Then we had Grimer. No, there was a brown one. It wasn't Eevee. It was Vulpix, I think, that he had.
No way.
Miltank or whatever.
It was Miltank.
He had Vulpix. No, he didn't have Vulpix?
It was Miltank.
Okay. Yeah, so we had Miltank and then Grimer. Steven insulting
remember
Grimer, yeah.
I don't really remember
And
that.
now we have Team Rocket, so stepping up his game in terms of Pokemon knowledge. Going with the classic ones too, which we appreciate, because then we actually Miltank not that.
Yeah, I don't think Miltank would be a classic. But
Yeah.
I guess maybe as young as you are, maybe Miltank is a classic for you. But for the older audiences out there, Miltank, not much of a classic.
Right. I'm actually older than you.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell from the way that you act.
Yeah.
What a 15 hatch. What a 16 pull. Oh, can anybody say Reaper into 15 hatch?
Can anybody say that? And I think, yeah, most people could. This is what Juanita has been opening almost every single game,
And this
except
is
for
what-
when he went for a CZ first against Kane.
Yep, and this is what Scarlett has been opening pretty much every single game, except for when Minigut's forced her to, but I mean, that's a different matchup. To go like 15 pull.
I'm impressed that you could tell, actually.
That what? It's
That
a
it was
different
a
matchup?
different matchup, yeah.
Well, obviously.
Well, this is the same person that thinks oracles can shoot up.
I'm pretty sure at some point in time they could.
No.
The reason why you don't shoot up with oracles is because you really want to conserve that energy for workers.
Right. That's why.
Anyway, Overlord drives by, doesn't see anything too interesting. Got a Reaper hopping down.
Not much going on. Just a Reaper cruising around the map.
That he is. Well,
He
not really
has
cruising
been,
around. I say he has like a destination.
Sure. Would a cruise not have a destination?
Not typically.
Actually, yeah.
When
Typically they do.
when cars first became popular in the United States of America, when they became widely affordable to everybody, what the kids used to do back in those days is something called cruising, and that's where they would go up and down the streets at like.
Where do you think the word cruising comes from? Is it from a cruise, as in the boat?
I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, those usually have a destination. So
Sometimes. Can't those also just go off like into the ocean and then come back? Do they have to go somewhere?
Sure, but they would usually know where.
Anyway,
they're
I'm just
going.
saying that when people would talk about cruising back in the day,
Okay, what I'm
they would
saying
just drive
is, what I'm
back
saying
and
is you're
forth.
wrong, basically.
You wouldn't cruise towards.
What I'm saying is you've gotten corrected too many times by someone whose English is not.
As someone with a 3-year-old who's watched the movie Cars probably more times than I'd care to admit, I'm pretty sure that cruising is just when the cars would drive up and down the street and not really go anywhere. That's like when people talk about cruising, they're just talking about like going back and forth. You want to go cruising in the car? That would be like you just get in the car and you just drive around. 3 Reapers this game.
3 Reapers.
And that's cruising.
Okay, agree to disagree.
Okay, we'll agree that you're wrong. Rob from
We can't
Production
agree
confirms that I'm
wrong.
right.
What? Joe from Production confirms that I'm right. He does.
We're getting to the uncomfortable part of the cast. We've got to tell cats that Joe isn't a real person. Wow!
Wow! Are you trying to tell me
forces-
that Rob is both good and evil,
Wow.
and that Joe does not exist?
Oh, manages to pick up that tumor. Man, that's annoying.
Does not manage to pick off that tumor.
Oh, he doesn't. Never mind. Oh, wrong target.
Wrong as usual. And yeah, the 3 Reapers, however, let's
Wow.
look at the units lost tab, the workers lost perhaps.
Looks to me
Just
like
2.
2 workers plus the spore cancel.
Yeah, so not the greatest thing in the world for Juan, but he has been able to keep those Reapers alive for a while.
Yep.
And I think these 3 Reapers here are a great response to what we've seen from Scarlett, which is very, very late gases. Major basically saying, okay, if you're not gonna get those gases, I'm gonna get the Reapers out because you're gonna have trouble punishing those with speed anytime soon.
And for a real thing, when Cat says for a real quick thing, when Cat says late gases, he doesn't mean like super late. He just means late as in some people will elect to drop the gas either right before or right after putting it on the spawning pool, so you can get that early link speed to take your third faster. And Scarlett doesn't. She instead drops 2 gases at around 34 supply.
Yeah, around 30, Destiny said before, but this time around he corrected himself, admitting that he was wrong
34
previously
is still
cast.
around 30.
No, it's a good thing that you're learning during the
Anyway, we got 1 Reaper picked off. Wow, what a pick.
What a
And
pick.
I think Scarlett has actually managed this pressure better than any other game. Great creep spread, didn't have to overcommit to Lings, using the queens to deflect everything, and Major, even with 3 Reapers, wasn't able to stop all this creep from getting spread around.
Yeah, something important to point out in this particular game is that Scarlett did go for the double upgrades really quick. Picking up
That was a
queens
mistake. Probably should have microed that queen back. Oh, especially with this Banshee showing up soon, that's gonna have Cloak. Oh no! Hopefully everything doesn't fall apart here for Scarlett.
Yeah, this is a great choice by Major, and not so much by Scarlett. Scarlett has been going for the quicker...
Almost got the Cloak! Okay, just finished, okay.
Very nice.
Wow.
Scarlett traditionally has been going for the more queen-heavy play, and earlier... the
Banshee
Banshee,
just suiciding. But lots of drones getting roasted here, just as we commended Scarlett on her ability to hold off those Reapers early on. A lot of drones lost here to these Hellions.
Yeah, very nice job. Now 11 workers lost, and no third to speak of for Scarlett. And yeah, if Destiny will allow me to finish my thought.
Lynx chasing across the map, going after some Hellions.
I would like to go into
a Banshee
why,
coming into the natural.
into
Sorry,
why
what were
this
you
was
saying?
effective. Yeah, just
why was it
for
effective?
people that are trying to
for the
learn game a little
36%
bit.
out there that play. Okay,
Yeah,
go for it.
for
Why
the
was it
36.
effective? Tell us.
That's because normally Scarlett was getting more queens. She was getting the lair quicker. This time, choosing to go for the double upgrades. I think this is the wrong map out of all the maps that she's played to do this, because the third is so far away that it's going to be really difficult to defend. So she probably wanted that Spire a little bit quicker to deal with something like this. Now, Major not doing the best with the information that he had from previous games, but you know, getting the better end of that, because Scarlett was committed to that to those upgrades earlier. Not as many queens, and not able to take that third and taking a lot of damage as a result from the Banshee and the Hellions.
19 workers roasted so far.
Yeah. Smartly, however, by Scarlett, she's choosing to delay the third. 10 minutes in, almost 11 minutes in is when she drops it. So, had she dropped it earlier, imagine how hard that would have been to defend, given the distance between the natural and the third, because there's rocks in between. Scarlett not going to be able to block that command center out. Lets it land. Not a big deal. Going to force a lift off, probably. Nope, the Hellions have something to say about that. What a game.
What a game. Scarlett really needs to take some Thunder Toss advice to heart and really start working down those rocks at all stages of the game with her Link so that she can connect her natural and third.
Yeah. Very good creep spread, despite of everything that's been going on.
Yep.
And now Scarlett is actually switching into range upgrades. This is very interesting. Dropping a Roach one and an Infestation Pit.
Maybe because she sees the mech coming, or feels mech coming on?
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely. She did scout the factories with her overseers.
Yeah, so she's going to be headed into Roach play. Major, having the information from Game 1, where Scarlett decided not to go for Roaches, but instead to stay on Muta, Lynx, and Banelings, and that being very effective for Scarlett, he might be psyched into making a few more Thors, which would be awful against not just Roaches, but also Swarm Hosts, which Scarlett is preparing right now. Major wants to start cranking out tanks. Banshees are going to help a little bit. I'm actually surprised that Major is choosing to make Banshees, considering the first game. But that's going to work out in his favor again. Just, we'll see how this turns out. It was a Stormhost game, by the way, that I was talking about before, when I saw Scarlett against Major on Star Station on the ladder. I think it was during the Shoutcraft America qualifying ladder thingy. And Scarlett ended up losing the late game to Major with such unit composition. As you can see, Major not cutting any corners in terms of those Thors, as he's probably scared a little bit, given that Scarlett made a lot of Muta in the first game. Steven a little bit quiet.
Just watching. Yeah. You're just doing a great job right now.
Well, thank you very much.
Scarlett pumping out them Swarm Hosts. I don't know. I think this is a really scary map to play against Mechon. It's too small for me.
Yeah.
To be comfortable playing against Mechon. But I mean, it makes Swarm Hosts good too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty good map for Swarm Hosts. It's an easy to split map and very easy to siege that third once the rocks are down.
Whoa! Scarlett is kind of sitting here camping these SCVs. Major a little bit slow to get the Thor up, but 5 workers taken out for Scarlett. What a harass.
What a harass. A little bit late on the Hive, if she's planning to go into something like Broodlords. But if she's just planning to stay on Infestors and perhaps at Vipers, or rather stay on Sormus than at Vipers, then that seems perfectly reasonable.
And Major moving out with his first of possibly many mech pushes.
Yeah, this is a scary one too. I don't think Scarlett's static defense is as good as she would want it to be. If Mech manages to sit on top of the Storm Hosts.
That's very bad. However, not very many siege tanks.
A great scan is going to get rid of a couple of Storm Hosts. Nope, just focusing on the Queen, and this is going to be a little bit dangerous for Major.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wanted to go after the Queens here.
Yeah, he's in a really dangerous position right now.
Yeah, he backed himself into a corner too, creep on all sides.
So now he's committed.
Yeah. Well, he
after clearing this wave,
he might be able to run away?
Yeah. No, he might be able to push in.
Oh, very brave. Oh,
very
siege
brave.
tank with a big arrow in positioning there. Every siege tank is pretty important.
Yeah, if he's not going to push in right after clearing a wave, though, I think he should probably just pass.
Yeah, he's trying to poke around with the Banshees a little bit, but...
Yeah, just sticking around doing nothing is giving Scarlett time to get more units out.
Yep. Not enough tanks here to keep these wave of Locusts clear either. And it looks like he is going to back out. Leaves the tanks, I guess? Is he going to bring the tanks back? Or?
Might end siege after the
or
wave.
Maybe he plans on sticking around. He's
yeah,
going to lose...
He's reinforcing it.
Yeah, but he's going to lose all 4 of these tanks here.
Yeah, and that's... you know, the question becomes at that point, when do you unsiege? Because there's endless Locust waves now.
I thought he was going to bring all the other units up and then unsiege as they were covering them, but...
Yep. This game is far from over, however, Major's still with a supply lead, actually, and taking a 4th at a pretty timely manner. Scarlett now adding Vipers, which is pretty scary. And Major doesn't really have an answer in terms of, you know, he doesn't have many Vikings to deal with Vipers. He doesn't have many
Ravens either.
Ravens. So... the best he can hope for is a stalemate for a while until he's able to get those units. But until then, with the Vipers, Scarlett's going to be able to pick away at his army. So I actually really like what Major's doing.
Yeah, with the SCVs.
With not just the SCVs, but the army, just evading the Locusts. He's basically saying, okay, your armies are mobile, my armies are mobile, but my army is probably more mobile than yours anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and try to avoid your army at all costs. Because he cannot fight right now.
Yeah.
It's a losing fight.
And Swarm Hosts are kind of immobile, but when you got the whole... Oh, wow. Bad right click there on Major, not watching his army.
Yeah.
That was pretty painful.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, whoa, but no, Scarlett
Oh, I
doing
missed it
the
by
same
Scarlett.
thing. What's going on? Back up.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Losing a good 7 or 8 storm hosts.
Wow, that's expensive too.
Very much so.
Almost 3K in resources.
That's exactly what Major needed there.
Yeah.
Without that, Scarlett
Major's
might have been
still
able to just...
losing more resources though. In regards to being immobile, actually, that's one of the good things about this map, though, for Zerg, is that it's a very small map, and it's very easy to creep up everything, which actually makes the Swarm host decently mobile. The Locust can scoot across the creep pretty quickly, and then, you know, every time the Locusts launch in a wave, you lift the Swarm host and you go move them wherever you want them. So.
Major has to be careful not to put that very weak medevac in front, or it's going to get one-shot by the...
Yep, I think he's going to the main with it.
We'll see what he chooses to do. He's just trying to do economic damage. Great job with the Banshees here. He's got to pull the Mutals back, at least for a little bit. The Hellbat. Oh, you do not want to fight Hellbats with Lynx.
Yeah, it does not work, unfortunately. Hellbat's pretty good.
Yep. And these Queens are able to get rid of these Banshees before they get rid of the hatchery. There's plenty of transfuse to go off as well.
We do have Major being a little bit sloppy with his dropships there. He's gonna end up losing only one of them. Scarlett not targeting the other one.
Still a pretty close game here.
Yeah.
And adding 2 starports is Major, so that's gonna help him out a lot if he's able to crank those units out. Now getting the Vikings, identifying that he needs the Vikings against the Vipers. Without those Vikings, the Vipers can just pull 1 unit at a time.
Definitely.
And start picking away.
I do think this game is starting to favor Scarlett, though.
It's possible. It really depends on what transition Major is able to go for, I think. So
Major losing a lot of units fighting the Swarm host with the Hellbats. Scarlett continuing to advance the Swarm host up.
Yeah, the Hellbats are kind of just there as a buffer right now, right? They're trying to do as much economic damage as they can, trading minerals for minerals. At the end of the day, he doesn't really want those Hellbats in his main army composition, but he's going to continue to make them to apply pressure.
Yep, and to serve as a front line too, to kind of protect the tanks for a little bit if he doesn't have enough to clear the Locusts. But.
Yep. Juanito now is starting to produce both Vikings and Ravens. He does need a few more tanks. He identifies that.
Unfortunately, yeah, the problem is you need that critical mass of tanks so that the Locusts cannot get up to your tanks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as the Locusts continue to push into the tanks, I mean, it's only going to get worse and worse if you're actually losing siege tanks to the Locust swarms.
I was going to say I was very surprised that Scarlett was backing away, but she was just repositioning, so that's much better. But it does buy Major a little bit of time to siege those tanks.
And bad rally on the Locusts, too. She didn't actually rally them to the tanks.
Oh, and that's huge, because it's all about momentum with the Locusts.
Exactly.
Right now, if she continued to pick away 1 or 2 tanks at a time, then Major's production would have never
caught up to the swarm of Locusts because Locusts are free and tanks are not.
Yeah. Exactly. So now he's almost at a stalemate. Taking
not
very
quite
little
yet.
damage.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, she was able to get a tank,
still.
and
Yeah,
she also did a lot of damage to that.
He really needs to siege those tanks that he has unsieged there.
Yeah.
I think he can force a stalemate in terms of these units. Come on, Juanito. Those 3 tanks are vital right now. Without those 3 tanks, he's going to continue to take damage. With those 3 tanks, he may not take any damage.
Yep, and Scarlett is splitting her forces off now. Some of them going to the 3rd, some of them going to the 4th.
Yeah, that looks like Mutalisks at the 4th bed. Going to be greeted by some missile turrets and just back. We see the Greater Spire coming out, and this is a great tool if Scarlett makes just a few Briggards. That's gonna help her a lot with clearing the tanks.
Whoa.
Don't want to overcommit.
There's a little bit right.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of Vikings out already for Major.
Oh, nice yanks there.
Very, very nice. So,
and we saw, I mean, we've seen Scarlett play this game already against QHC, and for the most part, she knows how to do this.
Yeah.
She's completely comfortable in this late game. And she's going into it with an advantage, and I don't know.
Well, Juanito does drop a PDD though, something that we did not see QHC doing. So.
Yep, which is good, but I mean the Raven count is very low. She's just yanking, and she's being much more aggressive with her Vipers this game than she was against QHC. Very nice, using that energy right away. She'll probably consume, grab some more energy, and then grab some more Vikings. Wow, we got a little contingent of forces here from Juan. Gonna be able to take out this base on the bottom right. I mean, not major damage. Scarlett will probably bring her mutas down to clean this up. And I think this kind of trade actually favors Juan more than Scarlett. Or, I'm sorry, favors Scarlett more than Juan, because she already has so many bases in Scarlett.
Oh, the Blinding Cloud, that's brilliant. Now the Locusts are going to be able to push in. Juan has to reposition those tanks right away, but those Locusts are going to do a lot of damage.
Nice ducks there. Wow, just picking away this Viking fleet.
Yep. Yeah, Juan's far from a stalemate right now. He's been losing too much for too long. I think if he had sieged those 3 tanks a little bit earlier, that would have made a huge difference, actually.
Yeah. At this point, I don't know. I don't see Juan being able to hold this off for much longer. He's losing it gradually.
Oh, great
Wow.
fungals. And that
Yeah.
might be lights out for him. Losing those Vikings is just so huge.
Yep, I don't know why she dropped the Infested Parent. She needs to continue to chain fungal, and these will all die on this fungal.
Yeah. Very
PDD
unfortunate.
is still helping.
Fireworks. Lots of Vipers for Scarlett. And yeah, she's got all the momentum she needs right now. I don't see a way that Juan can stabilize. Unless Scarlett's backs away or something like that.
Yeah. Oh,
He's never
more
going to get the
ducks
energy he
going
needs
down.
on those Ravens, unfortunately for him. Turret ring would have been really useful. He was trying to set one up earlier, but again, the momentum was already in Scarlett's favor, so she just kept pushing through that and a few tanks. So without that, Huang has nothing to sit the Vikings behind, and is getting abducted one at a time. I mean, nice tactics by Juanito, but Scarlett already with a decent bank. I don't think she minds losing those rounds too much, and she's actually remaking them.
Yep. Juan just kind of running around trying to do whatever Rex he can with the Hellions. He's not going to be able to find much success there, though. Scarlett, even if Scarlett lost all of her resources right now, she doesn't really need to take any more units. She's got all the units that she needs to win the
A
game.
Viper dies there trying to kill that Raven.
Yep.
No be doing that.
But again, Scarlett can replace Vipers pretty easily. We see she's sitting on 3k gas right now. Much easier than Juan. Nice fungals
Another
there.
Viper goes down.
Much easier than Juan can replace Ravens. Juan getting starved for resources now at this point. He's been starved for gas for the past while.
Yeah. Very nice harass by Juan. It's just he's just having a really hard time stabilizing. Actually, Scarlett out of money right now, so this harass is actually doing a lot.
Juan has killed 63, 65, 66 workers this game. I mean,
68, some might say.
He's done a good job harassing, but it was just that momentum got started too early. Again, this map is so small. I feel like Mech and Swarmhost...
So many Vikings now,
Yeah, Mech and Swarmhost play really snowbally on this map. Like, if you get an advantage with either one...
Yeah.
Scarlett,
Oh my god, those Vipers!
Yeah. Losing a couple, 2 or 3
What
Vipers.
is she at now? Let's look at the unit stat real quick.
She has 3 Vipers.
Only 3 Vipers left.
And she needs to watch her mineral count. I understand not wanting to make drones at this point because you feel kind of invincible, but she is...
Juan was in a really bad spot, but right now with only 3 Vipers left...
And he did manage to take the top left base.
Yeah, and the tank's at a stalemate right now?
Yep. The PDDs are making it... Can we just point out for a second? The PDDs are the only reason... Well, not the only reason, but man, they're helping a lot.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
mean, now you
helping
can see...
him out, getting those units out that he needs to not drop PDDs anymore.
Oh, pretty good fungal for
great
Scarlett there.
fungals.
You can see we were ragging a lot kind of on QXC yesterday for never putting these PDDs down. They make a huge difference. They absorb a lot of damage. They don't cost, what are they, 75 energy?
Juan's as close as stabilizing as he's been this game.
Yeah. Ooh,
unfortunately, he's pretty far away
still.
still. Yeah, that's tough.
Tries to put down the turrets. No way that's going to go down. The Vikings need to watch out for a fungal, but the Infestors are not in position to deliver it, so...
Yeah, so this is going to be fine.
Tries to grab a
And
few Ravens, manages to get one. And the other?
Yeah,
100 Secret Missile does go down. Will it launch?
Yeah,
and it will connect.
One Infestor goes down.
One Infestor down.
Some damage, they're done, but...
And
Scarlett, not a good trade, Raven for an Infestor, but
yeah,
better than nothing without a doubt.
And Scarlett is building her resources back up, so she's not going to be mineral starved any longer. We do have Vipers coming forward, yanking some tanks. The Vipers, with the Vikings out of position, is able to do it, and Major does tap out. Well played on Major's part, but just going into that, being a little bit behind is, like I said, on a map that small with positional units, right, that awesomely destroy everything else based on position, Mech and Swarmhost become very snowbally, and the snowball started rolling in Scarlett's direction first, continued to roll downhill.
Yeah, again, there was a point, I think, that Juan could have turned the game around by just sieging those 3 tanks.
Yeah,
so there was a point where he
had the 3 tanks just sitting up there.
He had to replace tanks.
And it was really close too. Like it was only like 6 or 7 locusts were making it to the tanks to start to blow them up. So if you would have had those 3 tanks,
absolutely, no locusts would have killed tanks. So every locust wave, he was listing 1 tank, 2 tanks, producing 2 or 3 tanks at a time. Not the best trade.
Yeah. We're gonna hop into a quick 90-second break. And
When we get back,
we're going to have
potentially
maybe the last game.
The last game.
Maybe 4 more games. Scarlett is currently up 3-0 against Major. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute.